Hello, Denver Broncos fans. Let's get straight to the point. The latest news has been absolutely jaw-dropping. Stay tuned because we're diving into the changes that are reshaping our team and what we can expect from the next chapters of this adrenaline-packed journey. The NFL free agency period is one of the most hectic and decisive moments of the year in American football. It's when players without contracts can negotiate with any team in the league, and franchises have the opportunity to strengthen their rosters with experienced or promising talent. In 2024, one of the names drawing attention is DJ Jones, defensive lineman for the Denver Broncos. His contractual situation has sparked speculation, analysis, and even a bit of drama on social media. In early March, just before the official opening of the free agency market, DJ Jones used his Twitter X account to share an enigmatic but deeply meaningful message. He posted an image with the phrase, "If you don't know your own value, somebody will tell you your value, and it'll be less than you're worth." The caption accompanying the post was simple, yet impactful. "On some real stuff." The post quickly caught the attention of Denver Broncos fans and the specialized media. Many interpreted the gesture as a sign that Jones might be dissatisfied with negotiations or even considering leaving the team. After all, the free agency period is marked by uncertainty, and players often use social media to send indirect messages about their future. However, Jones was quick to clarify the situation. Responding to a fan who asked if he was leaving the Broncos, the player wrote, "Not necessarily, my friend, just waiting like everyone else." The response calmed part of the fan base, but made it clear that Jones's future remains up in the air. DJ Jones, who turned 30 in January 2024, has been a key piece of the Denver Broncos defense over the past 3 years. Since joining the team, he has established himself as one of the most consistent and reliable players on the roster. Over the last 3 years, Jones has been available for 48 games, starting in all of them, missing only 3 games due to minor injuries. His stats are impressive. During this period, he has accumulated 122 tackles, 11 quarterback pressures, 9 pass deflections, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. These numbers highlight his versatility and ability to impact the game in multiple ways, whether by pressuring the quarterback, defending against the run, or creating turnovers. Beyond his on-field contributions, Jones is also recognized for his leadership in the locker room. In a defense that has undergone several changes in recent years, he has been a constant presence and a model of professionalism for younger players. The NFL free agency market is a dynamic and competitive environment where a player's value is determined by a combination of factors, including recent performance, age, long-term potential, and demand for their position. For defensive players, like DJ Jones, the market has been particularly favorable in recent years. A recent example is the contract of Jarran Reed, defensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks. Reed, who is 31, just signed a 3-year deal worth up to $25 million with an average annual value of $8.33 million. Although Reed is a year older than Jones, his contract serves as an important benchmark for Jones's negotiations. In his last contract with the Denver Broncos, Jones earned an average of $10 million per year. According to SpotRack.com, a website specializing in contract analysis and market values, Jones's estimated value for 2025 is $11.2 million per year. This increase reflects not only his consistent performance, but also the growing appreciation for defensive players who can play multiple positions and impact the game in various ways. For the Denver Broncos, the decision to retain or not retain DJ Jones involves a careful analysis of their finances and priorities. The team faces significant challenges regarding the salary cap, which is the maximum amount a team can spend on player salaries in a season. In recent years, the Broncos have made heavy investments in several positions, including the signing of quarterback Russell Wilson, who inked a mega deal worth $245 million over 5 years. These financial commitments limit the team's flexibility in free agency. Re-signing Jones would require budget adjustments, possibly involving the restructuring of other players' contracts or even releasing some names to free up salary cap space. Additionally, the Broncos need to evaluate whether Jones fits into their long-term plans. At 30 years old, he is in the prime of his career, but the window of competitiveness for defensive linemen typically begins to close after 32 or 33 years of age. The team must decide whether it's worth investing in a long-term contract or if it's better to seek younger options with growth potential. If Jones decides to test the free agency market, he will certainly attract interest from several teams. Players with his experience and versatility are highly valued, especially by teams looking to bolster their defenses for a Super Bowl run. Teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and San Francisco 49ers, who have championship aspirations and salary cap space, may see Jones as a missing piece in their defenses. Additionally, rebuilding teams like the Chicago Bears or Houston Texans could offer generous contracts to attract a veteran of his quality and experience. For Denver Broncos fans, the possibility of losing DJ Jones is concerning. He has become a fan favorite not only for his on-field performance, but also for his dedication and connection to the community. His departure would be a significant blow to the team's defense, which already faces challenges in remaining among the league's best. The specialized media has been closely following the situation, with analysts debating the pros and cons of retaining Jones. Some argue that he is essential to the Broncos' competitiveness, while others suggest that the team should prioritize renewing younger pieces with greater growth potential. DJ Jones' future with the Denver Broncos remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: he is a player who knows his value and is willing to wait for the best deal. Whether in Denver or elsewhere, he will continue to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. Meanwhile, Broncos fans and the league as a whole should stay tuned for the next chapters of this story. The free agency period is always full of surprises, and DJ Jones will certainly be one of the most talked about names in the coming weeks. The NFL free agency market is always a minefield of opportunities, risks, and strategic decisions that can define the success or failure of a season. For the Denver Broncos, the linebacker position has been a critical area of focus this offseason, but the team's initial plans appear to have suffered a significant setback. With two of the top stars on the market, Zack Baun and Nick Bolton, off the board, the Broncos now face the challenge of finding viable solutions to bolster one of the most important positions in football. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs acted swiftly to secure two of the best available linebackers in free agency. Zack Baun, who signed a 3-year, $51 million deal with the Eagles, and Nick Bolton, who re-signed with the Chiefs for 3 years and $45 million, were both potential targets for the Broncos. These players represented the ideal combination of experience, youth, and skill to lead a defense, but they are now out of Denver's reach. Losing out on these players leaves the Broncos in a tough spot. Not only did the team miss the chance to add elite talent to their defense, but the linebacker market has also shrunk considerably. Now the available options are limited, and any move the Broncos make will likely be seen as a Plan B or even a Plan C. Currently, the Broncos' linebacker position is one of the weakest on the roster. Alex Singleton, who will turn 32 in 2024, is the only player with significant experience returning to the position. However, Singleton is recovering from an ACL injury, which raises questions about his ability to maintain a high level of performance this season. While his recovery is progressing well, relying on him as the centerpiece of the defense is risky. Additionally, the Broncos are experimenting with Drew Sanders, who has been moved back to inside linebacker after a brief stint as an edge rusher. Sanders has potential, but he is still a work in progress. Counting on him as an immediate solution would be a gamble, especially in a league where the pressure for results is constant. With Bond and Bolton off the market, the Broncos need to explore viable alternatives to strengthen the position. One option that has gained attention is Jamien Sherwood of the New York Jets. Sherwood is known for his speed and versatility, traits that could help the Broncos become more dynamic on defense. However, his estimated cost, around $12 million per year, could be a hurdle for Denver, especially considering the team's other roster needs. Another possibility would be to split the budget across multiple signings rather than investing heavily in a single player. Names like Isaiah Simmons, Devin Bush, Willie Gay Jr., and Divine Diablo emerge as more economical options that could add depth to the roster. Isaiah Simmons, in particular, has an interesting connection with Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, with whom he previously worked on the Arizona Cardinals. That familiarity could ease his transition into Denver's defensive system. Furthermore, the Broncos could consider a trade with the New York Giants to acquire Bobby Okereke. Okereke is a young and promising linebacker who could bring energy and talent to Denver's defense. However, any trade involving assets would require the Broncos to part with valuable pieces, which may not be ideal as the team looks to rebuild multiple areas of the roster. One thing is clear: the Broncos need to become more athletic and dynamic at the linebacker position. The modern NFL demands that linebackers be able to cover receivers, chase down running backs, and pressure the quarterback. A lack of versatility at this position can be exploited by opponents, especially in a highly competitive division like the AFC West. Alex Singleton, despite his experience, is not known for his speed or coverage ability. Drew Sanders has potential, but remains an unknown. Therefore, it is essential that the Broncos add at least one linebacker with complementary skills to the current roster. Ignoring this need would be a strategic mistake that could prove costly during the season. As the Broncos explore options in free agency, it is important to avoid questionable signings. One name that has been circulating is Robert Spillane of the Las Vegas Raiders. Spillane, who is about to turn 30, has a poor track record in coverage and does not seem to be the solution the Broncos need. Signing a player with his limitations would only make sense if the cost were extremely low, but even then, it would be a high-risk move. Given the scarcity of viable options in the linebacker market, the Broncos could consider reallocating part of their budget to address other positions. For example, the team could prioritize signing a wide receiver to support quarterback Russell Wilson. An elite receiver could alleviate pressure on the defense by helping the team score more points and control the game. However, completely ignoring the linebacker position is not a viable option. The Broncos' defense already struggled last season, and failing to address this area would only exacerbate the issues. The ideal approach would be to strike a balance between strengthening the defense and addressing other roster needs. In addition to free agency, the Broncos could also look to the NFL Draft for solutions. Selecting a young and talented linebacker could be a smart move, especially if the team can identify a player who fits well into Vance Joseph's defensive system. However, the draft is always unpredictable, and relying on a rookie to take on a significant role immediately could be risky. The Denver Broncos are at a crossroads. Losing out on Zach Bond and Nick Bolton to the Eagles and Chiefs, respectively, has left the team with limited options in the linebacker market. Now, the challenge is to find a way to strengthen the position without compromising the franchise's financial future or relying on risky bets. Whether through economical signings, trades, or investments in the draft, the Broncos need to act wisely and with a long-term vision. The 2024 season promises to be pivotal for the team's future, and the decisions made this offseason could shape the direction of the franchise for years to come. One thing is certain, ignoring the linebacker position is not an option. The success of the defense, and consequently the team, depends on finding the right pieces to complete the puzzle. Stay up to date with everything happening with the Denver Broncos. Follow the latest news in real time and be the first to know about all updates. Subscribe to the channel to get information straight to your screen and make sure no important detail goes unnoticed.